Have you ever wished that you could drive a car to the edge of the water and then just keep on going? Well, you're not the only one.
They're probably the neatest toy that was ever invented.
A lot of nice Corvettes out there, but they don't float worth a darn.
Strangely, the idea of turning a car into a boat has been around since even before there were cars. And that's no fish story. Go Hippo! Woo-hoo! This is what you call a car. It has 4 wheels, doors that open and close, a motor, and a kicking sound system. Oh yeah. But if you drop a car in the water, it don't float so good. And this is a boat. It is rounded on the bottom. It has a prop sticking out the back. It has doors too. And hopefully, if you drop it in the water, it floats. It is, however, somewhat poorly designed for highway driving. Now, imagine if these two got together and had a baby. Well, I'll tell you one thing, it wouldn't be cheap. And I'm not just talking about dinner at a fancy restaurant and a box of chocolates. But if anyone can afford this expensive toy, it's this guy.
When you open that door, Jeff.
Yeah.
Open it now. You see there's a seal. We have to be sure we seal it. Yeah, you pull that
That's
up.
it?
Because when we go in the water, if it's not sealed, the water comes in the car. We don't want that to happen.
No.
That'd be a flaw.
This would be a good time to seal this door.
Let's seal in unison.
And I'm pulling up, ready? Count
Ready?
it in.
1, 2, 3, seal. Got it?
Park. It's
Got
just
it?
up here, yeah. Is it?
It's tight, yeah.
It's tight. Well, it stopped moving.
Okay, that's it. Are we ready to proceed?
Movies!
This is it.
Okay, so what can I expect going in here? What's going to happen?
We have to get this bird out of the way first. We don't want to
Move it, Scheissebad!
Coming through. We're looking for the water. This is it. Props are now going. The props are going.
Wow.
Okay. This is the moment of truth. We're in. Okay, now what
Okay,
we do
so-
is we put this in neutral,
Okay, we're in neutral here.
and then we put this gear in, and now we're out. We're afloat.
We are off. Das Boot.
We're doing
Now-
good.
This is so great. Turns very easily. I thought it would be
You
slow.
want to try to get behind the wheel and yeah, don't hit the pedal.
Okay, so I'll stand up. This is like an action move.
Okay.
I've got the wheel. Accelerate.
Accelerate it.
I don't want to flood it.
Accelerate it. Speed her up. Let's see how fast you can go.
All right.
Oh my God! This is it. This is it.
Go!
Go!
It's
Go!
like guts getting wet, yeah. You get out the back and push. So, how do you turn a car into a boat? Well, your first problem, obviously, is to stop water from coming in. For that, you need double seals on the axles and the drive shaft, and a lot of grease. Then you have to drive it. For that, you need a transfer case, so you can choose whether you drive the wheels or the propellers. Or both at once. In theory, it's all kind of obvious, but in practice, it was a bit of a nightmare to get any sort of amphibious vehicle to work. There were a lot of failures on the soggy road to success. The first amphibious vehicle in the world was actually the first self-propelled vehicle in America. It was constructed in Philadelphia to dredge the harbor. It was 30 feet long and steam-powered, and it was called the Eructor Amphibious. Good name. Over the next few years, amphibious vehicles were being invented all over the place. Some of them worked. In Germany, there was a guy named Hans Trippel who was particularly prolific. He'd managed to get a few cars in the water, and when World War II came along, he started to get attention from the government. He teamed up with another guy named Porsche, you might have heard of him, to make a car based on the Volkswagen. They called it the Schwimmwagen. Good name. Of course, the Allies had to respond with an amphibious vehicle of their own. It received the military designation DUKW and therefore became known as the Duck. Less good name.
This is a 1945 amphibious truck called a Duck, made by General Motors. Some of the unique features, because it is a boat and a truck, there's truck features. Here's a shovel to dig yourself out if you get stuck, but at the same time, here's a boat hook. So as you approach another vessel, you can guide them safely together. There's a spare tire, which says truck. Here's a 75-pound Danforth anchor that says boat. For the doubters who believe this is just a truck, stepping to the rear allows you to see the propeller and the rudder. This is one of the tire inflation devices on the Duck. This allowed the Duck driver to adjust the tire pressure from the comfort of the driver's compartment. You have a typical range of instrumentation, much like a regular truck, a speedometer, a tachometer, fuel gauge, and so on. But in addition, you have your tire pressure gauge, which indicates the pressure in each tire, and of course, the appropriate pressure for sand, coral, or highway use.
Well, not only did the Allies win the war, but their amphibious vehicle worked better. The Duck was a huge success, and by the end of the war, over 20,000 of them had been built. Now I bet you've been lying awake at night wondering what happened to them all. I know I have. Down in Branson, Missouri, a guy named Bob McDowell had been collecting old ducks from World War II. In the 70s, he bought a tourist business and he realized that people might actually pay for a ride. Well, Branson, Missouri is also famous for country music, and it turned out that country music and ducks were a marriage made in heaven. A lot of country fans were the right age to have been in the war, and it was their first chance to ride a duck without getting shot at. It was a hit. You think it's fun riding a duck? Try riding a hippo.
Who here is anxious about getting into the water and making a splash? I know I am.
So I'm pretty excited. It's not every day you get to ride a hippo.
Bobby McDowell and his hoe-downing ducks were such a success that a guy in Toronto decided not just to copy him, but to improve on the concept. He created his own special-purpose, custom-designed, tourist-specific amphibious vehicle, the Hippo.
That idea was so good that we decided we would like to bring it to Toronto. We found that we would have to come up with a better mousetrap. And here's what you have today. So the buoyancy tanks essentially go from the bow to here on the bow. That's the big one. The second one starts here and goes along to about here. And then there's another one to here. And then there's another one over here, making 7 in totality. Buoyancy is good.
The tanks I'm working on right now are buoyancy tanks. The Hippos use an air tank system to aid in their buoyancy on the water. And what I'm looking for is to make sure that they only have air in them. A little bit of goop or a little bit of condensation is all right. That's perfect. Tourism is a glamorous business, isn't it?
So guess what, everyone? This means that we're getting very close to today's water portion of the tour. So you ready? 1, 2, 3, go! Hippo, go!
Go, go! Captain Bob! Go, Hippo! Woo! Well, that's a good one.
Did everyone like the splash?
It was fun.
Big splash.
It was fun.
So it turns out that the most important reason to have an amphibious vehicle is just to have fun, man. Fun of a few different kinds. Hunters, for example, often need to get places most people can't go.
There's water out in the bushes. There's water in the swamp areas. You need to get through the water to get to where the animals live.
My idea of hunting is sitting in my living room and ordering in a pizza. But I'm told that there are other ways that involve actually going to where the thing you want to hunt hangs out. Turkeys, for example. Not the most aerodynamic critter, but they can fly over water. So Bill and Kathy Trowbridge, who are even less aerodynamic, got themselves an amphibious vehicle to get out across the water to go after them their turkeys.
Well, the way that you drive these things is you're driving basically like a tank. You've got a brake on the left side and a brake on the right side. We're coming up to the real swamp. Really, it steers very, very quickly. It's great going through the bush or around trees. You can do a 180-degree turn on it at a standstill practically without using any room. Land into water is great. You can go through at a real high speed and make a big splash. It's exciting. In the water, it's not a speedboat. You go along at 3 or 4 miles an hour, and that's as good as you'll do. You don't want to take it across really fast flowing water. You can go anywhere with it, do anything with it. This machine, moose hunting for instance, will be going down bush roads in the middle of nowhere, and there will be a beaver dam. Anybody with a four-wheeler's got to turn around now, and they're done. For us, it's our country, the other side of that pond. We just go right through the pond, and there's nobody else back there. We pretty much own it.
The Argo was manufactured in New Hamburg, Ontario, and it's designed to get absolutely anywhere. About the only thing it can't manage is quicksand. Maybe molten lava.
So here we're at the final assembly area for the vehicles, where the final production is put together. The steel frame is put into the vehicle. The axles go through greasable flanges into sprockets. From there, the chains are installed on the vehicle. And from there, they move it down to the next station. This is our vacuum forming room, where we basically form the polyethylene upper and lower bodies for all Argo models. The machine that we use is basically kind of like an oven. It has upper heat elements and lower heat elements, and it is warmed till it becomes hot and pliable. When the plastic is hot enough, the operator will use air pressure to blow the plastic, the polyethylene, up, stretching it enough that he can raise the mold. And when he raises the mold, a vacuum draws the plastic down onto the mold, and that's how you get your shape for the upper and lower bodies.
Yeah, this is a test area that we have for our prototypes and for some vehicles that are being pre-serviced before they go out. So we have a simulation of different terrain conditions, hills. We have a water hole as well that we test the vehicles in. The Argo is amphibious because the bottom is like the bottom of a boat, basically. It's all sealed. It's like a tub.
So, if you want to cross the occasional lake, the Argo is for you. But what if you want to cross, say, the Atlantic Ocean? Rick Dauberton was planning a trip around the world, so he decided to use a stainless steel milk truck. He figured if it could keep 30,000 pounds of milk in, it should be able to keep salt water out.
I thought it might be kind of cool to build a car that I could travel around the world in, so an amphibious car was pretty much the only thing to do it. When we first took this thing out, we could tell right from the beginning here that it was going to be a lot of water over the windshields, but again, it's not like being on a highway. You don't have to see what's going on around you every second. And it keeps the bugs off the windshield. And it went out on the trip, went to 28 countries and 38 states. It was a little bit unnerving when you're out on the seas and there'd be a weather report upgrading to 18-foot seas kind of thing, and you're out 150 miles from anything. The other scary thing is you sat so low in the water, when you're going in the waves, you'd go into a wave and you'd come up on the crest of a wave and you could look around for about 2 seconds, and you'd go down in the trough and for about 20 seconds to come up. So you'd see a freighter or some lights, you know, and you're thinking, okay, that means he's coming towards us. It's getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and you think, okay, do I go right, do I go left, what do I do? And I'm sitting so low in the water, they can't see. We never had too much problem. I did get close enough to a freighter one time that they tore their rear view mirror off this thing, though.
Rick is clearly an obsessed man.
This is the Dobberton Hydrocar.
You would think that one amphibian would be enough. But no, he's got another one in his garage.
And we're building it to be the fastest amphibian on the planet. Hopefully it'll go 60 or better on the water. Hopefully. If it only goes 30, I'm just going to get in it and drive away and nobody will ever see me again.
Clearly, the urge to build these things is like an addictive drug. And Rick's not the only junkie. So, because of his work inventing military vehicles for the Nazis, after the war, the Allies decided to throw Hans Trippel in jail. Then they let him out, but they told him he couldn't make amphibians. You'd think he would have just given up, but in 1962 he was back in action, designing the world's favorite amphibious car, the Amphicar. Well, everyone wanted one, but not everyone could afford one. You pretty much had to be rich, or President of the United States. Or hell, both.
When it comes to amphibious vehicles, this was the big success story. It's the only one that ever went successfully into mass production. It's the only one you could just go to a dealership and buy. They made about 4,500 of these things in total, and today there are still 900 of them that are still seaworthy, or lake-worthy, waterproof, floating.
All over the world, groups of enthusiasts dig those old Amphicars up from wherever they're hidden.
You can handle any seas. Put the top up, put the windows up. It's like a sailboat.
You got your props going, so you're pushing and driving. And if you hit a sandbar out in the water, you just drive right over it and keep on going.
He was actually looking for a second wife at the time.
And a car was more affordable. No, I shouldn't say that.
For the engine.
In Orillia, Ontario, Gord Suter brings dead Amphicars back to life.
Most people drove them, parked them, forgot about them. Water sat in those rear quarters and they just fell apart. Here's the story on Amphicar. They thought they were going to build 20,000 cars a year. So in 1962, they ordered 20,000 clutches. They ordered 20,000 air breathers. They ordered 20,000 steering wheels. They sold 4,000 cars. They still got 16,000 parts left over. And I bought all this stuff sight unseen. So, you know, we get home and we open up the doors and we go, oh my God, you know, these are worth 25 bucks a piece. Look at how many there are, you know. I've got a 53 Hudson Hornet. You can't just walk to a guy and order anything like these guys can. So this is an advantage for the Amphicar.
This guy here, you gotta plan your turns. The front wheels is your rudder, and that's what steers it. So you can't turn as sharp as you can with a boat.
Well, I'm really surprised everyone in the world doesn't own one. You know, they're total fun. They're probably the neatest toy that was ever invented.
Hans Trippel kept on building amphibious vehicles. In 1998, he was working on something called the Amphicar Ranger. Unfortunately, it was just one more car that never got into production.
Today, what we're lacking is entrepreneurs. What we have is too many managers, and managers do nothing but push papers around. 60 years of experience that I put into working in these things could really pay off. But they think they can't make money, so they refuse to make them. That is a mistake.
Hans Trippel died in 2001. He was working on amphibious vehicles almost until the day he died. In Britain, his dream may finally have come true. The Aquada is a brand new vehicle designed to go 100 miles per hour on land and 30 miles per hour on the water. It has wheels that retract like an airplane so that it can hydroplane at high speeds. And it's powered by a jet engine. A jet engine that they had to redesign to fit into a sports car. How cool is that? The first customer to get one was billionaire bad boy Richard Branson, not from Branson, Missouri. Anyway, in 2004, he set a record for crossing the English Channel in an amphibious vehicle by doing it in 1 hour and 40 minutes. The Aquada is designed to do everything well. If you want to get one of your own, it costs about as much as the average house, so it's not exactly cheap. But it's nice to know that somewhere out there finally exists a boat that's good on the highway.
So, I guess old Hans Trippel's dream of having a vehicle that was both a good car and a good boat has come true after all. Well, that's if you can afford it. The rest of us, we still have to do things the hard way. Bye-bye!